Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hello Redlow podcast. I'm your host, Terry Mullen, and I'm so happy you're here. If you're new here, welcome. Redlow is older spelled backwards. I'm older, and perhaps you are too. Or perhaps you're just a little bit curious about who I am and what I have to say. I show up here each week talking about all things like navigating life transitions, overcoming hard things, and rediscovering who we are now in this season of life. I do solo episodes, and I bring on a few of my friends, other amazing women who are stepping forward with their lives, starting businesses, and overcoming their own hard things. We all have a story to tell, so sit back and listen in. It's not about what we are doing. It's about who we are becoming and taking the next step forward on your journey to your next purpose. Everything we do, or everything we have done, leads us right where we are today, right here, and to our next right step. It isn't always really about our next right step, it's just about our next step. And sometimes that's a misstep or 2 steps back, or we stumble and fall and we rise up and take another step forward, right? So where are you, my friend? What season of life are you in? How are you feeling about yourself? And what step forward do you need to take to get to those goals and dreams that you really have deep inside of you? I ask this because it wasn't that long ago that I wondered what my own next steps were. My confidence was low. We had moved and we were just about ready to become empty nesters. And if you read my book, Step Forward, you know that we had incredible success, and then we had incredible failure. The walls just came crashing down. And it's taken a long time to rebuild our lives, our finances, our marriage, and our hope. But as I shared, I would not change anything. It's made me stronger. It's made our marriage stronger. It's made our family stronger. Not perfect, but stronger. It has shown me who I am. It's shown me who God made me to be. And it has empowered me. And I was able to take all that pain and turn it into my next purpose. Through it all, I was able to find my voice and be vulnerable enough, finally, in my life, to share it by starting a podcast, writing my book, coaching, and creating courses, so that I can help you too, and show you what's possible, and remind you that it's never too late to step forward with your life. And we do it one step at a time. I remember that day that I went back to work. I share this story in my book, and I ended up at Nordstrom. It was one of the best and the hardest decisions I made. I remember writing my resume thinking, who am I? Who am I really? And what do I even have to offer the world? But it was in those long hours on my feet and helping women feel beautiful inside and out that I was also able to help myself. And for those of you that don't know, I am a licensed cosmetologist, and I spent my early career as a very successful colorist and hairstylist. And I share this story in my book too. So being in that cosmetic department at Nordstrom really felt right at home. And it brought out all my strengths. It made them come alive again and reminded me who I am. I ended up working for the Charlotte Tilbury line. It is a female-founded and female-led business, and I was immediately drawn to the brand because of her messaging of empowerment and helping women feel confident inside and out. It is still my favorite brand to this day. Charlotte says, give a woman the right makeup and she can conquer the world. It's the takeoff of Marilyn Monroe's quote that I have in my book, give a woman the right shoes and she can conquer the world. But Charlotte believes in the importance of women feeling confident and powerful everywhere, all around the globe, no matter where you come from. And she is on a mission to empower women to be the most confident versions of themselves. She also believes that life is about confidence. And when you feel confident, it unlocks your potential. It creates opportunity, and it can change your life. She says that unlocking confidence starts this magical chain reaction, which creates a ripple effect and a circle of positivity. If one woman is empowered, then she can change her family, her community, the many communities that she's a part of, and her business. It's powerful, right? I really feel that exact same way. I have also learned on my journey that confidence is an inside job. And I really realized that as I was writing my book, as I had stepped into these 10 different shoes that I use as metaphors in my life in order to step forward with my life, I realized that each step I was taking was helping rebuild my confidence and help me believe in who I am and what I had to offer the world. I also learned that being a hairstylist all those years, I wasn't just making someone feel good on the outside. I was also empowering them and helping them feel good on the inside. I was transforming lives, and I didn't even really realize it. And to this day, I love encouraging women and helping them feel confident and good about themselves and believing that there's so much possibility ahead of them, that we're never too old, that it's never too late to do those things that you want to do, those things that you've been wanting to do. And like I've shared, whether that's writing a book or starting a podcast or starting a business, coaching, creating courses, whatever that is, it's not too late. And I'm proof of that. If I can write a book at 59, so can you. Now, Charlotte Tilbury is an active global ambassador for a nonprofit called Women for Women International. It helps women survivors of war rebuild their lives. She tells the story of women in Sarajevo who felt empowered by wearing lipstick while living through the war. Wearing a bold red lipstick was a symbol of self-expression and an act of defiance. And it was one of those things that gave women the strength and the confidence to continue, and I say to continue to step forward, despite the conflict that they lived through. Powerful, right? For me, that just really resonates to me. I get such a visual of that and to think, wow, how brave of them to be so bold to wear a red lipstick that really drew attention to them, right? I've got a little bit of my own rebellion inside of me, maybe a little bit of a healthy rebellion that thinks outside the box, that colors outside the lines. And I understand that. I get this, and I find this to be such an empowering statement. And interestingly enough, academic research continues to show that a lack of self-confidence in women is a barrier to success in our lives, in the workplace, and in the boardroom, despite women outperforming men in the same task. This has real-world implications, especially as a society. And I believe, as Charlotte does, that we have a shared responsibility to help women, to help one another feel confident about themselves so that they too can make a difference in the world. Because I know all too well, when we hide our light, when we play small, we short circuit the gifts that God has given us to have an impact and make a difference in the world, right? I also believe that sometimes the greater the gift that you have inside of you, the greater your light, the more external forces come at you and try to dim that light. So if you feel that way, pay attention to it. There's probably some strong calling on your life. And my goal is to help you gain confidence, to believe in yourself, to believe in your abilities, to have the confidence to show up on camera, to show up here behind a microphone, whether you want to host a podcast or be a guest, and to have the confidence to write your story, to write your book if that's your dream. And also the confidence to help others, to coach or create courses. And if you need help doing that, or kind of figuring out where to start, I'd love to help you. I help women one-on-one. I do one-on-one coaching. And I'd love to help you step forward and figure that out and take that courageous action and get started. And if you've already started your business, but you're just nervous about showing up on camera and you wonder what to say or how to do it, I'd love to help you. Because truly, my journey over these last several years has been finding my voice and having the confidence to show up and no longer care what other people think of me, because that's what holds us back, that fear. We're so afraid of what other people are going to think, right? And really, people are so busy with their own lives, they don't care that much. And everyone needs encouragement. They need people like you and me to help lead them forward. So I also have a 6-week course that I do called Speak, S-P-E-A-K. It's an acronym. My next class will actually be starting April 4th. We go live for 6 weeks on Zoom for 90 minutes. And we kind of dive deep into this. S is to start where you are. Where are you? It's a mindset. How are you feeling about yourself? P is the power of you. It's really owning who you are and showing up authentically as yourself. Because you can't reach your ideal audience if you're trying to be someone else. As I share in my book, there are 8 billion people in the world, but there's only one you, and you have to be you so that your ideal client can find you and you can find them. E stands for equipment essentials. I talk about all the equipment things that I use, from microphone to lighting to the apps that I use. I keep things really simple. I don't like it complicated. I don't have the time to spend hours editing and all these different things, so I keep things very streamlined, very simple. A is the art of storytelling. There's such an art to it, whether you're writing it or speaking it. I actually have a friend who comes on to help that. She's amazing and very gifted storyteller. So she really lays out a format for doing it, and it really empowers you and gives you the confidence to do it. And then K is crafting your content. It's crafting it so that your ideal client can find you. It's talking about search engine optimization, all those big scary words that we don't really understand, but it really matters. And it's also creating kind of a schedule for posting and for doing your podcast, all those things. So we talk about that. And then I do a bonus session on helping you start a podcast if that's something you're interested in. And I also dive into being a guest on a podcast and how you go about doing that. But it's really, really fun. My journey to do this podcast was just kind of an accident. I took a first course several years ago, and I knew I wanted to write a book, but one of the exercises they had us do was do an intro and practice that for a podcast intro. And all of a sudden, my soul just lit up. And so that's kind of how it all started. So I want to encourage you with that too. Just pay attention to those things that kind of light you up, because that's probably also your gifting and your next purpose too. So I will link all of this in the show notes for you to reach out to me. You can DM me. I will also put the link for Speak. And if you sign up before April 4th, I will give you a one-on-one individual coaching session with me for an hour and a half, kind of learn a little bit more about you and how I can best help serve you. So in closing, I just want to share that the reason I wrote my book really is to help you find your voice as well. And I love the shoes that I've created, these different metaphors. They have a personality. And I think you can see yourself in each one of these. You know, we all step into these different shoes at different seasons in our life, at different times. And sometimes we need more of these shoes than others. But the Hello Red Low High Heel really came as kind of a vision, I say, from God. And it symbolizes confidence. And if you think about what you feel like as a woman, when you step into that high heel, you stand a little taller in a crowd, don't you? You throw your shoulders back. It makes you feel a little bit sexy and a little bit confident about who you are, right? It's empowering. And that's the point, to remind you that you are qualified, that you're capable, that you deserve to be in that room, that you deserve to sit at that table, that you deserve to be on that board if that's the path you choose. You deserve to write your book or to show up here on a podcast. And you can do these hard and scary things. I know it's super scary. I've been in that place, but that's why we step into those courageous cowboy boots, because courage comes before confidence. These 10 different shoes that I describe in my book are the metaphors, right? And they're the 10 shoes I needed to step into in order to step forward with my life. And if I were to ask you today, what shoes do you need to step forward with your life? Are you needing those courageous cowboy boots? Those are the shoes or the boots that give you the courage to step forward with your life. And as I shared, courage comes before confidence, not the other way around. In my book, I say that to reach your greatest potential, you'll have to fight your greatest fears. I love that quote from Unknown. But if we think about courage, I say it's the opposite of fear. Many of us think of courage in some kind of a superhero kind of way. We think it requires a cape or magical powers or superhuman strength, or even some kind of special device that is going to help us overcome our extraordinary circumstances. But I've learned that courage doesn't come wrapped in a superhero costume. In fact, courage is quite ordinary, and it's available to ordinary people like you and me. Courage is something that you already have within you. You just have to activate it, and you can. You just have to decide to do it. And I know that you have the power to activate your courage and to step into it and live a life you love. Just pause for a moment, even here, and think about how courage shows up in your life. It is brave, it's fierce, and it's kind. I know that you have a brave spirit. I know you have a fierce mind. And I know you have a very kind soul. So take that courageous action and step forward with your life. And reach out to me if you need a coach that will help you do that. Maybe you need a little bit of resilience. Maybe you need to step into those resilient rain boots. Another one of my favorites in my book. Well, I love all the shoes actually, and they definitely do have personalities. Anyway, maybe you've been through something really hard, and maybe you need to step into these resilient rain boots and brave the storm. Take that risk, bounce back, and allow things just to roll off of you. And maybe you need to be a little bit radical and have some fun. Jump in with both feet. To be resilient is to have an inner resolve and to be able to recover quickly from failure or disappointment in your life, and to be able to quickly pivot. It means going all in and braving the rough waters. And I've learned the hard way. You can't go over it. You can't go around it. You can't go under it. There's really no escaping. You've got to go right through it. And I know you can do that. So step into these boots. Step forward and be resilient. You can do it. Maybe you need a little bit of tenacity. Maybe you need to step into those tenacious tennis shoes. And Nike says that everything you need is already inside. Powerful, isn't it? What is tenacity? It's determination, grit, moxie, heart, perseverance, and willfulness. It's not giving up easily. It's stepping forward and taking uncomfortable action. I say courageous action as well. It's creativity, it's imagination, and it's a willingness to try something new. It's going for it without really thinking about what others think. It's digging deep within you and knowing what you want and doing what it takes and believing you can do it. Wow, and how many times in my life have I had to step into these tenacious tennis shoes? These different moments in my life when I wanted to quit, when I wanted to give up, when things were hard. Yeah, I've been there. When I was writing my book, also one of the hardest things I've ever done. And you want to find out what you're made of? Just write a book. And the goal is really to get to the finish line and to believe in yourself enough and to believe in the calling that God has given you and the words He's given you to put your work out into the world to make a difference in someone else's life. And you just have to keep going and find the coaches and the people to help you get there. Amelia Earhart says, the most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. In closing, I want to share one of my other very favorite shoes that I have in the book. It's the Radiant Ruby Slipper. And I love the quote that I have in my book from Glinda. You have always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself. The Ruby Slipper. I say, here you are. I laugh because in my book I say this shoe is my favorite. And it truly is because it resonates with me the most. There's a part of me that did not realize I had the power or the strength inside of me all along. And it took my experience and stepping forward to find out who I am. And my coach reminded me. She saw things inside myself that I didn't see. And so right now, I want you to pause. I mean, really pause. You can even pause this recording and just think for a moment. Think back to some of the things that you have already done. Think of those things that you have overcome in your life. I hope you feel proud. I hope you feel empowered and inspired. And most importantly, I hope you see how absolutely amazing you are. I know that you have so much power inside of you, but sometimes you just forget it. You don't see it. You see it in others, but you don't always see it in yourself. And right now, I want you to repeat after me. I am smart. I have a brain in my head. I think on my own. I have started a lot of things. I am qualified. I know how to solve problems. I know how to get things done. I have an empathetic heart. I am courageous. I am brave. I've done really hard and really scary things. I did those things when I was afraid, and I did them anyway. Keep stepping forward, my beautiful red low woman. Wear the red lipstick and step into those shoes that will empower you and help you step forward with your life. You are seen, you are heard, you are loved, you are valued, and you belong. Until we meet again, may God truly bless you.